The stage is ours. Well, first, Matthias, thank you again for having Altech. I'm a regular guest, and I think today I just would like to give you an update so that shareholders know what's going on. Firstly, I'd like to thank all the shareholders for the support. We're doing quite well. We're still a small cap company in Germany. We're bigger in Australia, but we've done sixfold in share cap this year, and it's going up. And in fact, in January, we were listed in a German capital market as a major magazine called Das Kapital, the Capital, and we were announced as the tip of the week, so as the upcoming star. To recollect for everyone, Altech has 3 legs. It originally started with high purity alumina in Malaysia, and at the moment we're focusing on Germany, which is the anode material and the solid state sodium alumina battery. And to give you the idea, all the projects that we're doing in Germany are under operating limited liability companies, and they're owned 25% by Altech Germany, listed in Frankfurt, and 75% listed by Altech Chemicals, listed in Perth, Australia, on the Australian Stock Exchange. There's a large part in Malaysia for the alumina project, and then we have a company called Altech Industries in Germany, which owns the industrial land in Schwarze Pumpe in Saxony, and also is the developer of the battery materials plant. Then we have a second project, which is the joint venture. That was the one that I presented on the last IIF, which is a solid state sodium alumina battery. And that is a joint venture with the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft IKTS. Fraunhofer is the German largest science institute, where 75% is industrial and 25% is German government supported. It's very significant. They normally just sell licenses, but we have a true joint venture called Altech Batteries, who commercialize the solid state sodium battery. So if I just start with the coating material, we are building the pilot plant that is under construction, and I'd like to recap what are the specialties in our product. We are doing a wet chemical process, which is the cheapest process known today. Many people have tried, have not succeeded. It's easy to scale up. We are green, and we adapt to the various lines that have different type of battery chemistry in order to improve the anode material. And our process is a low temperature process, which saves a lot of energy. The coating of the basic graphite on the anode is not an easy process, but it is a levelizing process. You remember we saved the first cycle loss, which improves the battery by 10%, and we levelize graphites. There's very expensive graphites, carbon coaters, so that is a really important part. And the other thing is that we increase conductivity by spicing and adding metallized silicon, which I previously explained, and that leads to a very sustained battery life and much better performance. For example, in the silicon that we are adding up to 10%. Nobody has achieved that yet. Tesla is adding about 5% of silicon oxide, which has a very limited increase. So we are the first ones that really do this in a professional industrial manner. And we have now batteries running at 430, which is a 30% increase in capacity stable. And these batteries are running above 1,000 cycles. Our present target is 550 milliampere per gram, which would be a 50% increase almost. That is a very significant target. We are achieving that in some cases, but not stable enough for industrial process. So it's just to go to show where we're going. And to recap, with the ceramic coating, the battery becomes safer. The lithium-ion battery in normal circumstances with actions will no longer have a thermal runaway and melt, which is a proven scientific thing. And the other thing was that we are certified green, which is very important for the value chain to be considered within the automotive industry and those high-capacity lithium-ion batteries. The progress report is that last time I reported we're building a pilot plant for materials that can be qualified. That is fully ongoing. Factory acceptance test of the wet process is starting today. We have almost completed all working papers, analysis, all the consumption materials are there. We have all the approvals for the operating of this plant, and we have all personnel employed. Which you see here on the graph, this is our offices in Saxony. So we have offices here and offices here, and then we are renting this part of this industrial hall, and we are placing the pilot plant in there. These are pictures for the calcination. We have fully completed the final acceptance test at factory of this calciner, which is a very special thing on a flash dryer and low temperature calcination. And then there are some other pictures of actual equipment. This is part inside of our laboratory. In the laboratory, we have the full test scheme that we can do everything, and also running the batteries in cycles so that we have a stable industrial things. This is part of the equipment that is installed, that is already there. And with this pilot plant, what is the importance of this pilot plants is that by mid-year, we will have material to be given to all the battery manufacturers that we're dealing with at the moment, the car manufacturers that we're dealing with, in order to start the qualification. And at the same time, we have announced that following the pre-feasibility study, which looks very good, we're now doing a detailed feasibility study, which is the detailed design of the main plant with the first line of 10,000 tons of material. These are pictures of the layout. So this is the first processing line, the utilities, and then we expand each line over here. These are offices, material coating, so that's all done. And we have bag acceptance, wet process. So just to show, the main plant design is almost done. So we are progressing well with the target to complete our DFS in mid-year. And after that, we have to pass the final qualification. Then we will move offtake agreements, we'll go for funding, and then we will go ahead. I guess the market is pretty confident. That's why our share price has done so well. That we will succeed in industrial production of this product that we are successfully producing in the lab, which are both labs that is in Australia as well as the lab in Germany. And for the main plant, for the pilot plant, the construction is almost completed, the commissioning is done, and we're moving ahead. So key date is mid-year. By the next time I will present, this will be ready to go, and then we can see. Now, the other company that I mentioned before is Altech Batteries, which was formed out of a joint venture last September for the solid-state battery that I introduced back then. Now, this battery, as you know, is ready. It's running. You can test it, all the cells. And we are now, the pilot plant is running in Fraunhofer, and now we're making an industrial battery out of it, which is used as a grid energy storage. Quite important. We're not competing with a lithium-ion battery. We have a completely different market segment for grid energy storage, higher voltage, long-living, robust, fire-safe, all the things that I presented last time. Important is originally the presentation was the running batteries that we had are 10 kilowatt hour battery packs at 220 volt. Now with the market study and the client requirements, we have finally decided on the design of and specification of the final product, which is a battery pack called ABS60, which is a 60 kilowatt. A battery pack is like a cabinet, 2 meters high, 55 centimeters deep, and that is a ready pack. And this is important. This pack will be ready in 3 months, and it's a standalone plug and play. This has everything inside, battery management system, everything is ready. And as I mentioned, this battery does not need fans, external temperature management, all this. You buy this box and you put it. And the only ingredients inside are table salt and ceramic. So this battery cannot burn, it doesn't age, it doesn't do anything. And again, this battery is functioning. All we're doing now is an industrial process. And because we are doing on the grid focus, we're doing a 600-volt battery pack. And this battery pack, then we put 18 pieces into one special design container, which is called the grid pack. It's the ABS 1000. That is 1 megawatt hours capacity in this little container. And again, you come to our factory, pick it up and plug it in. There is no preparation, there is no outside cooling, inside fans, management, nothing. You plug it in, of course. After that, you have a DC-AC converter, depending on what you want to use it for. So this is ready and very great focus. Now, the other thing is that we have found out for the wall of the financing, it's not only important to produce this battery, but recycling is a big thing in order to have the value chain. Now you can imagine our battery doesn't contain copper, doesn't include cobalt, doesn't include lithium, doesn't include manganese. So the recycling of this battery is very simple. So we are in the final stages of designing a plant for the recycling, and there will be joint venture partners who do the recycling. We always need recycling because even during the production process, almost 10%, so to speak, 5 to 10% of the batteries will have a malfunction for whatever reason. So that those ones are recycled right away, and the nickel is recovered that is inside, and the rest is then used for other things. It's very important. Now, why is this Serenity battery so important, or why is grid applications important? This is a short graph in Germany in representing Europe. This little graph here shows the option price on the European Power Exchange on 1st of January, and you can see here it's negative. So that is the nonsense of the thing. You have offtake agreements with renewable energy. You need to take it. You can't put it in the ground. Some can switch it off, but let's solar, you have to get it. So you have to pay to get rid of that power into the grid because the grid's already overloaded at that time. But then if you come to lunchtime, doesn't matter if it's New York, Los Angeles, Frankfurt, or Munich, the energy providers have to buy power at $1. That is $1 arbitrage for trading. That is crazy, and that is the problem. Renewable energy can be produced plentiful, but it is not produced when you need it, or you can't bring it to the area where it's required. So any renewable energy solution doesn't need more solar, doesn't need more. First, it needs energy storage. And it's the same. I've been in October, I've been in California. So it's the same. The grid's overloaded, the windmill is stopped, the solar power is put into the ground, and you lose the money. In Europe is the same. In Germany, we have all the windmills in the North Sea. The power is required in the south of Germany, in Bavaria. What happens? And the number is phenomenal. In the last report of the German grid agency, they reported that the German loss in 21 on this redispatch alone is 2.3 billion euro. That's a phenomenal amount. So this money you can save, and that's why everybody doesn't know Frost Sullivan, Bloomberg. You can see this is the large growth of grid energy storage. Wherever you go, it's all over the world. So the growth is 26% in this graph. So it's anything around 30% year on year. And by 2030, this is here considered a $21 billion annual market, and that is huge, and it will be ongoing and ongoing. So it's a huge market. That's why we are focusing on the first rollout into market on energy providers. We will have a few offtake agreements and start production. And the reason is simple. We have the lowest levelized energy storage cost. The longer your battery lasts, there's no degradation. The power that we have is safe. After that, we go into industrial providers, that provide large solar parks, or, for example, hydrogen, or for steel mills and everything. All of these will be big users of this type of battery, right? In direct competition to, let's say, Tesla Megapack or Tesvolt or Freyr or Northvolt LFP batteries, things. So we are all ready, and the three areas that we actually then sell to our clients is the renewable integration that I just explained. And the other one is grid stability, that means net frequency. And the other one is peak saving, where at lunchtime you start a power station at 10, throw the energy away, then at 12, when everybody starts having lunch or whatever, then the power goes in, then you run the power station down again. So that's a huge loss. On the industrialization, we are, for the grid pack, we have ready the design of that container. The container, it's very important that it's a CSC certified. So we are hoping that before end of the year, we have the certification ready. Then it's a fully loaded container. It means our battery packs can be transported on trucks, ships, trains, everything, because they have standard dimension and standard safety, standard strength, and then it can go everywhere. So it's very simple. You come to the factory, pick it up, and it can go anywhere. We have done the industrialization of the solid electrolyte, which is this ceramic cylinder. In the lab, it takes 3 days to make one cylinder. In our industrialization, we make one every 40 seconds. So there's a lot of application exchange of running furnaces. So that's all been done. This is a picture actually of a test furnace run that we've done 3 weeks ago to see what is the morphology, how does it work, does it crack, or everything. Then the main cylinder, this is what the battery looks like. So that's also all done. We're just finalizing, and we've done the layout of the plant already. Just remember, we signed the joint venture in September. This is all fully running. We are in full swing to do the detailed feasibility study, which again will be finished end Q2, early Q3. For the DFS, we need all the detailed design, the equipment selection, the costing, the unit rates. So in order to do that, we have appointed and chosen all contractors already. We've told you before, we finalized the product design, we have the layout. All the things are ongoing. I'm happy to say that besides environmental, we have received all, and that's really a very exciting thing. And maybe to say a little bit on the side, the state of Saxony has formed a special task group to assist us in the development of this large-scale project. It's a bit like when Tesla did it in Brandenburg. It was all fast-track. We also want to be fast-track. It's very important to come into the market as fast as possible. They have an own task force that assists us with everything in all the permits. And we also, as you know, we have a 14-hectare land site at the moment. And we applied for an additional 60 in order to have the upcoming gigafactories that are planned. Are in client offtake discussions. You can imagine that is not really a big challenge, because it's a seller's market. You can't get any batteries, doesn't matter if it's sodium sulfur, LFP, NMC, all these batteries. That's why Tesla also is rolling out mega packs. So that is not a problem. The problem is the people want to have the prototype, which will be ready in 3 months at this size. Of course, we have batteries now. We have 10 kilowatt, but they want full operational 60 kilowatt pack and test it, and then we will enter into the offtake agreements. We have appointed various financial advisors for our clients and partners in the US. We have appointed a firm in New York, Arrowhead. If anybody wants to have the contact, they're going to come out with few reports, and our project team now already has more than 60 members. Why am I telling you all this? Because I have made many presentations and telling you what are the benefits of our product, where are we going out, how do we get the funding. So all these promises and explanation have to be followed up by action and have to be implemented. And today is the presentation where I want you to know that this is going on, and that is truly on track. And from the second half of this year, this will go into a different speed. Right? After that, we know the details, we know all the kind of things. We're going to go into financial markets, and we will start construction on both of the projects. And just to tell you a little bit about us, you see myself in the middle. I'm more of the Chief Technical Officer of the group, even though I'm Managing Director. I do the technical. Hans-Jörg Plagemas is the financial wizard, takes care of everything, and Ivan is also a process engineer and is the Group Chief Executive Officer located in Australia. We have an interesting board advisory. We have on the political side, we have Nikolaus Graf Lambsdorff, which is the son of Otto Graf Lambsdorff, who is assisting us in all the applications for grants, which I cannot confirm yet, but it's looking good. We have made presentations in the Chancellery in Berlin. We have discussions with the Strukturwandel, and we also, of course, have discussions with not sure how they work out, but again, we totally fit the bill. We have Werner Klatten on the financial. We have Peter Rosenthal on industrial advisory, and Wilko Stark from the automotive industry, so former head of mobility. So we are fully connected, and we get good advice. And I think that concludes my fast track presentation. Again, please do contact us. My handphone number is there. It's actually the real one. My email address. We are always there for you, and things will accelerate. And again, let me tell you, thank you so much for your confidence and how to say, your great belief in our company, which is really moving well. We are fully funded until we have all these things done, and we only need funding once we go into the full construction of the big plants. And next time I will give you the normal financial presentation with numbers, time schedule, all the things that you guys love to see.
Excellent. Yeah, we still have 7 minutes left. So far, there are no questions in the chat, but everyone is welcome to post any questions. So a question from my side. How did this organizational construction of Australia and Germany start, and at which side should you invest as an investor? What are the benefits for each side?
Now, the investor, first of all, has to make his own choice on valuation and see where he wants to invest. Is he comfortable investing in Australia? Is he comfortable investing in Australian dollar, or does he want to invest in euros? So there's a lot of personal considerations. How this construct came about is that the original founder and group was in Australia, was the public listed company. It very quickly became clear that we, as a sort of Western, non-Asian, non-Chinese, non-Korean startup and key technology provider, our market is in the US and in Europe. It is just like that. I mean, the entry barriers in terms of culture and market protection in Asia is huge. So for us to enter into the market in Europe is a given. So we needed to get to Europe, and we had Altech Australia had a major shareholder. The largest single shareholder is a German individual. And he then recommended various constructs where we looked with German banks, German markets. And if you remember, also financially, the biggest support that we have for the Australian plant, which is at the moment on hold, but is the 190 million credit facility from KfW, which is a German bank again. So it's very obvious that we will do our market entry in Germany or in Europe. In Germany was the best place to start because we are in the heart of the German automotive and battery industry, which is in this area. And it's an area which receives not only state and federal German support, but it receives European support. So we are in the best place to get this started, get grants, and have our product that people actually want. So we give green, we give quality. These are things that European companies want to pay for. And last but not least, they cherish a local value chain and supply chain, which makes them independent. That's what everybody is looking for. You can imagine, you have a problem with an anode material, you need something extra, you get it from China, it takes 6 weeks. You get it from me in Saxony, it takes 2 days. So these are the reasons. Financially, it's not a perfect construct. We realize that it's a bit convoluted, but that's how things sometimes grow. And we may find other solutions in the future to clarify and make it simpler, depending on which side grows faster and where there's more business. Let's say, for example, if we build gigafactories, then probably we will have a US partner, right? And then things will change relatively quickly.
Yes.
But for me, I cannot give you the answer, but from the valuation point and multiplier, I think Europe is quite attractive.
Excellent. And a question from the audience. Lisa asks, which companies are your most important competitors?
Yeah, there are different competitors. For the battery, the important is that we do constant benchmark analysis. So benchmark has 3 legs. One is there are batteries which have the same battery chemistry. There is a Swiss company, for example, called FZ Sonic that makes a sodium alumina battery, but it's a very complex, very small battery. But they make batteries, so we are monitoring them. And then you have other batteries which are prone for grid usage, which is the lithium iron phosphor battery, which is the LFP battery. And then there is the other battery, which is a sodium sulfur battery, which China uses. Then there is a battery which is used, which is a redox flow, vanadium redox flow. We're also looking in terms of cost, but of course we are much better. So these are the 3 types of products that we're constantly monitoring, and this is our benchmark also in terms of costing, pricing, market valuation.
Okay, and in terms of grants, government grants, do you plan to get some? Do you already have some? What is the goal here?
Well, for the sodium alumina, we have a preliminary cover letter for 7.48 million euro. In total, we are eligible for around 15, 16, which we are applying for, and but we have no confirmation yet. But that it would be a range of a realistic grant, 15 to 16 million. For the coating, for the battery plant, support could be a lot larger, subject to the project being rated as an important project of common European interest, which we are, working on at the moment. And those grants, at minimum, would then be 15, but could be much, much larger.
Excellent. So we just closed on the dot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthias, for having me. And we look forward for the next one. Then the truth comes out.